Now before we parent Larry to the rig, we first need to check our deformer bones. Now I know that I've got all these right, but I definitely recommend you go through and check these to make sure that the bones that you want to deform are set to deform, the ones that you don't are not. It'll save a bit of a headache later. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to select our rig, we're going to select our teeth, and we're going to select our eyebrows. Oh, not that. Eyebrows, Larry, armature, Control P with automatic weights. Fantastic. Now if we select our armature in pose mode with Control Tab, first thing you notice is it actually goes quite slow. Second thing you'll notice is it looks really weird. So that's what we're going to fix up right now. Let's select Larry, and in the armature settings, you see subsurf is above armature, so it's calculating the armature based on the really high divisions. Let's take that down below the armature, and straight away you'll notice it's a lot smoother. We also want to make sure we uncheck bone envelopes and check preserve volume. Not going to have a whole lot of effect, but when you're rigging a character with arms with muscular kind of thing, you want it to be able to preserve the volume so that things will stretch and squish as they should. Fantastic. Let's go through and start doing some weight painting. Now weight painting is a very tedious process. It takes a long time. I'm going to quickly whiz through this just so that I can teach you the technique, and then you can go through and spend an hour or two on your model making sure that it's working fine. So selecting our mesh, pressing Control Tab, we can see the settings that it's come up for us already, and looking through this I can see it's not bad, but seriously it could be a lot better. For example, if I rotate this, it's going to distort the whole thing. That's not what we want. And one other thing, with our teeth, I do want to put subsurf underneath that armature as well. Uncheck bone envelopes and preserve volume. Cool, so what we're going to do is select everything. With our base bone, we're going to go remove, select the base, click assign. Now with the body, I'm going to remove these. Just by selecting bits of mesh and removing them, it does make it a lot easier. And we might actually set this to a 0.5 there, and a 0.1 there. So what that's done is, now that we're out of edit mode, you can see we've got a pure red for the base, and the body now deforms only what it should. Might be a little too much actually. So let's come in here, let's go click this, 0.25, assign, .35, assign that, and with these perhaps a 0.5. Alright, so that's working about right. If you want to go ahead and make the bolts match up to that, that would be fantastic as well. For this tutorial, just to speed up the process a lot, I'm not going to do that. What I am going to do is I'm just going to parent them to that bone. So that way they move with it, and yeah, they move with that bone effectively, because he is bolted down. Just quickly go in, we're going to go change this to something like perhaps a 0.05, assign, 0.15, assign there. Yeah, that's looking much smoother. That's about what I would like to see. Fantastic, let's keep going. Now the hat is going to be parented to the hat bone, as that way it'll just move as we need to. Obviously the hat's not going to move that much, but the hats are hard. It's a hard hat, of course, so it's not going to move much. Okay, so moving on, let's take a look at these little arms. Definitely not what I wanted to see. So what I'm going to do is we're going to take the weight down to 0. I'm going to quickly, just using the paint tools, we're just going to paint off the bits that we don't want. Alright, so let's see how that's deforming. Not quite perfect. So I'm just going to bring it down like that. And we'll just continue painting. Let's go set the strength down a little bit lower. Change my radius. And just paint it in. Cool, so that's about right. I'm happy with that. It's not perfect, but for the short time that I did that, it's perfectly fine. Let's do the same with the nose. Now we don't want the nose to be touching the lips or the eyes at all. That's a definite no-no, because we're going to be deforming them with something else. We don't want it to be interfering. As you saw before when I moved it, it created some serious problems, and we just don't want to see that, do we? We're going to have a nice, smooth, deforming mesh. I should really be doing this in my touch tablet. But yeah. Cool, so now that I've got that, sort of what I'm going to do is just make sure that I haven't got any internal pieces selected, especially up here on the insides of the eyes. Select all of that, and we'll just click remove. Cool, let's have a quick move. Alright, still affecting the eyebrows, I forgot about those. But the amount that this will actually be moving is about this much. So you can see it's, oops, it's nice. I'm fairly satisfied with that. Cool. Alright, so the eyebrows. Control tab. These should not really be affected by that. So we'll go select it all, remove, and remove from that one, remove from that one, and remove from the hat. We only want it to be affected by that. So if I rotate it around, it will move at the same rate as the mesh. Cool, now that is looking good. That is fantastic. So that is all of our weight painting done. So what we've got to do now is we just have to finish up some parenting, namely the teeth. Now just make sure that it's not affecting that. We have teeth upper, with this one here, and we have that one there. Okay, so that's already set up perfectly. So our tongue needs to be printed to the tongue, which is that one there. Control P to bone. And that way we can move our tongue around as well as our teeth. Where do we go? There we go. Now you can see here that the teeth are actually affecting the mesh around it. Although it doesn't look that bad, as you can see we can rotate it around. It actually moves our jaw and stuff quite realistically. It's not what we want. We want to control only the teeth with our teeth bones. So easy way to do that is selecting the mesh, and that's the area they're affecting. We want to remove teeth lower and teeth upper, and now they're only affecting the teeth. Cool. Let's go ahead and sort out those eyes. Now these are quite straightforward. I'm just going to hide our mesh in the meantime. What we want to do is we want to parent the lattice to the lattice one. That one. Control P to bone. We want to parent the eye to the eye bone. The eyelids to the eyelid bones. And we'll do the same on the other side. Cool. So that just means that when we rotate around these, they rotate around our eyelids. You can see they're very hard to control, like at the moment, so that's why we're actually going to be adding in our constraints so that we can control them using our control bones. That's what we will discuss in the next section. So enough of that. Now I'm just going to quickly save it.